Hey everyone, I'm back. Last time I said I had goosebumps. Now I'm gonna unleash the freaks, the beasts of this amazing, dark, frightening, and fun series based on the books by R.L. Stine, which were a huge hit back in the early 90s, and then we got the TV show adaptation. For its time, this series has great effects. Sure, the CGI wasn't so impressive, but for the time, we hadn't seen anything like it before. And personally, the CGI and effects in this are far better than the movie starring Jack Black and R.L. Stine cameos in the first film. But yeah, this series, it was amazing. And some episodes are generally terrifying, especially the haunted mask. Now, speaking of masks, this one's getting a little overcrowded. Yeah. So much excess wearing a mask. Now, this was hot on cable and free-to-air television back in the day. So you've got so many of the books adapted into live action. Now, I mentioned the haunted mask. That is typically the most frightening episode of this whole collection. Some episodes aren't as intimidating or frightening, but the story of Carly Beth and how she didn't find herself to be herself and she wanted to be someone else. It is depressing, but it's so well written and acted. It's no wonder it's number one on everyone's favorite Goosebumps list. Now, there are some episodes that aren't so hot. And they didn't even adapt Night of the Living Dummy. They adapted the sequels. Now, they're fun because Night of the Living Dummy is the most iconic entry next to Monster Blood. Now, the Monster Blood episodes, they're awesome, and a few aren't as good, and, well, you got Ryan Gosling there. Yeah, Ryan Gosling starred in Goosebumps in the episode Say Cheese and Die, about the camera. You take photos of people and then it shows their death and so a bunch of kids acted in these films, but the content, it's young adults and even a bit more mature. So, and they go from PG to M. So there's lots of visual disgusting things in this, there's lots of footage of worms and other insects, spiders and all that, and Goosebumps, it was a major franchise. There's toys, there's games, there was a soundtrack, there's a board game, I think, and yeah, they sold Monster Blood in a little tub. It was awesome. It had warning labels. It's do not open, do not eat, and of course they released a Slappy doll which would talk. It didn't say the awful phrases it does in the book or the where is it? Or there he is. Or the show. Reminds me of my little bastard puppet somewhere. But yeah, Goosebumps. Just some of the costumes even. Why couldn't the live action films have awesome costumes? They settled for Scooby-Doo grade CGI. The Scooby-Doo movies are awful. They've got some great costumes, but the CGI in that is crap. See, now, if I had the budget, instead of spending it all on getting anti-skin grafts, look at me. Yeah, if I had the money, I wouldn't have been ripped apart. But I had a fight with Wolfie. But yeah, it just goes to show that TV series can have better effects than multi-million-dollar big time film productions. Like there's so much to say about Goosebumps. It had a rival series, Are You Afraid of the Dark, which some people said was more frightening than Goosebumps. Some episodes of that series weren't good, others were fantastic. So, yeah, like, I mean, they call the final one the final freaky version, and there is a fifth DVD. It's got like the best of, but I couldn't find it in time. But, yeah, like spaghetti and worms. Like they literally had real worms with the spaghetti, and when the person went to eat them, like they settled for gummy worms. So the photography, yeah, the effects and photography and cinematics of this series is awesome. So yeah, supernatural comic horror, and yeah, the two movies are comedic horror. Well, that's all I can say about this series. I mean, it's like awesome. It's freaky. So, speaking of cable, I gotta call my cable guy. I gotta scare you later because nature calls. You know where I'm getting to. You know, I feel almighty. This series is a series of unfortunate events. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. I think it's time for smoking. Alright, folks. I'm bleeding. I'm gonna be here forever. Ah. Right. I'm going. Ace off. Yeah, like R.L. Stine, he introduced some of these episodes. Like, they start with, Hi, I'm R.L. Stine, writer of the Goosebumps books. I'm here to tell you, and general commentary like that. Like, he's in the infamous intro. Like, I mean, it's one of the greatest intros of TV. The theme, the imagery, I mean, the dog. Hell, that made an impression. Even Wolfie referenced that. And then, yeah, in a couple of episodes, R.L. Stine's in there. Like, he's in the background. I think he's a next door neighbor in one of the episodes. Like, it's a blink and you miss it. And I've heard he's one of the monsters. Like, there's a scene where he's one of the monsters and he just does something. But there's so much history about it. But the problem with these, there's no extras. And, well, this one, it has all the episodes of season 1. Like, yeah. So you got all that. But the next set of DVDs didn't have the episode selection. So I had to make my own. How cheap is that? So the first season has a menu of all the episodes, and then the next ones you have to go and make your own. How hard is it to print? And why don't they give you any extra? And one disc for season 4. Room for bonus features, deleted screams. No, so much extra. And hell, even I did a little extra for this episode because Goosebumps skips you out, but I won't skip you out. You know? So I just had to rip out some extra goodies for you. But yeah, Goosebumps, it's a fun show. You can stay up late, you can wake up early, you can watch it all. It's awesome. Just as I said before, some genuine scares, some laughs, some really good direction, some clever writing. Of course, there's differences from the book, like usual thing, but you know, this series, they're superior to the movies. Like, honestly, the Goosebumps series, far better than the 2 that they released with Jack Black. And they're gonna bring back Are You Afraid of the Dark? And there's meant to be a movie with the original cast of that. Whether that's gonna be really good, I don't know. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.